All right, family. We live with the general. You already know what time it is, man. We got some fire today. We're gonna be talking about some very disturbing issues. With this hate crime that's taking place out here in San Diego, where Mosque was targeted, and you have some race soldiers, teenagers, and that's how they get them. That's how they like them, get them young and radicalize them. A lot of them, their parents is already radicalized, and they don't want to tell on the good old boy club. They act like, oh, these are just two teens that just happen to on the internet. This is the same tired ass story that you hear all the time. These kids are just like they damn parents, they racist ass parents. And that's where they get it from. They don't go get radicalized on the internet. They radicalized at home. Shit, you think they parents and ain't have not been uh also uh you know in a part a integral part of the races underground white nationalist groups, you see, and a lot of them ain't even underground no more. They above the ground, but it's all out it's all out race war going on right now. It is. You just might as well be understand that and be prepared at all times. Be prepared at all times as a soldier. And I just say this before, because I don't just tell no damn story. Oh, they did this and that. And it's time to get prepared. You know what I'm saying? I speak to my family out this, and I always told y'all that. You don't hear no other niggas out. These niggas trying to tell you about no. The general has always told you it's about being physical too. It's about being physical. And as a brother out there, you must be a soldier at all times. You might have to defend your family out here in these damn streets. You see what I'm saying? And and soon, I've been working out and things of that nature, but then when I start, you kind of lax a little bit. You still, but you're not where you supposed to be. And now I've been hearing shit like every other day. Some shit going down out there in Las Vegas. The brothers had to tackle a motherfucker and take him down. He's shooting all up in the grocery store and this, happened out. And then the brother Edward, I think he dropped something down there saying they running around down there. What was it? He's put down there, Texas. They young and they young and they ain't got nothing to live for. You know what I'm saying? And these punks and they gon' and it was a brother who was the security guard at the mosque. And he stood the ground. If it wasn't for that brother who was the security guard, it would have been a lot more casualties. It would have been a lot more casualties. But the brother, he stood his ground and was able to fend them off to, and but he lost his life. He lost his life and sometimes you just have, for the sake of the children, you got to be prepared to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't go home, nigga, and you ran and you got babies on the line and shit and you run, no, nigga, it's time to run to the fire. You know what I'm saying? You got to have that in you. You got to, and it shouldn't be a doubt about it. That's how you in it for the righteous cause. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be a doubt about it that you run and what the greater loss could be if you don't step up and defend these children, and women, teachers, and all of that, elders, and and so the brother he he's a hero that he was able to step up and defend the school. But these guys, these race soldiers, raised as soldier, you got to really be over the top to be ready to give your life, take your life. You know what I'm saying? And that's some punk shit right there. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even go out in the blaze. You know what I'm saying? You went around the corner and popped yourself. You know, and not and they got into it with somebody else in the neighborhood. Yeah, it was as they pulled off from the Mosque and shit, you know, wherever they found them, they had got into it with somebody on that block too, shot at somebody. And I think the guy had on a hard hat or something, you know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for that, he would have been shot in the head. So they was like, you know, they was terrorizing, you know. They was terrorizing. And so, you know, it's to the point now that first and foremost, you got to be physically strong, and you have to have, you know, you have to have about three, four, five deterrents on your ass. You know what I'm saying? You got to have about three, four, five deterrents on your ass at all times. You know, I remember back in the day, the old guys, man, they would have these big leather belts, man, and they'll be having all type of shit on the belt. You know what I'm saying? Like the Boy Scout, you supposed to have your knife and you know what I'm saying? You know, you get your mace and shit and you know, whatever else you need, man. You know what I'm saying? And biggest knife as you can get, nigga, and some guns and legal guns now, you know what I'm saying? Get you some legal ones. If you can get you a legal gun and put it on your person, you know, you should do that. You know what I'm saying? You should do that at this time. You know, it's sad to say, but you know, you have to be able to get a motherfucker ball for you. You just got to be able to do that. I'm just being serious with you. You must be able to defend your family and yourself at all costs, and it's critical now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you can't, you know, and you just had to do the next best thing, you know, and that leave it there, you know. But physicality is first and foremost because you got to be able to, you know, as a soldier, that's what soldiers do. They train the body, the mind, and you know, with the weaponry, you know, with all, you know, in all avenues. Get you some damn bear mace. Get you some bear mace. I'm telling you, straight the fuck up. Get you some bear mace. I'm about to get me about 3 cans of that shit. You see, because if I had to put my motherfucking hands, I'm gonna mace you, and then you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna give me a pole, and nigga, I'm gonna try to go to every joint in your body, nigga. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to glue 2x4s to your ass just to move you, cause you're gonna be broke up. I'm gonna tell you just like that. You got every goddamn joint on your ass gonna be broke. You feel me? They ain't gonna even be able to move. You ain't gonna even be able to stand up. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of them Raggedy Ann dolls and shit. Motherfucker just fall down. You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to. And I hate to say that. You know what I'm saying? But I will say that in defense, you know, in defense, because there's a lot of weird shit going on. You got this chud, and I'm gonna talk about it, you know, and want to walk around and man, please, I'm not taking none of that at all. None of it. We're not gonna conversate. You see what I'm saying? Or nothing. It's not gonna be no ain't gonna be no, I'm not going back and forth like some people. I'm not going back. Soon as I hear some nigga, I'm spraying you. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna work on you. You see, period. You know, you can you know, I'm gonna work on you. That's just how it's gonna happen. You know, and I expect you, and it's in defense. We're not asking nobody be no, you know, bully or nothing, because you're gonna lose like that. You know, and I'm not asking you to go around looking for shit. You're gonna lose like that. You want to keep as much of your life in a state of peace, you know what I'm saying, as possible, but always prepared, you know, for any fucking thing in case it, you know, it pop off. You know, so you know, star, don't let yourself down. Don't let your family down. You's a soldier out there, nigga. Start getting you a regiment. You know what I'm saying? Physicality, nigga, to be able to in defense. We're not asking you to thank you, Bruce Lee, or nobody. You training in self defense. You know, all in self defense. Always having your eyes open when you out here in these streets. Anytime you leave your house, you on a military was it excursion. You on a military excursion. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to when you step outside you got to be military minded. You looking around, you don't stare off into space and you looking, you're always like on, got that 360, you know what I'm saying? You don't stare, you make sure you know what's at all time, what's behind you, what's left, what's right. You hearing for shit that might be popping off, niggas talking loud. You want to know that. Is they arguing? Cause you got to hear the indicators before this shit get, where, you're looking. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the security guard saw these young guys, before they got all the way into where they could kill some youth, and you have to keep your eyes open. Because I think I heard that he told some of the teachers or the staff, like these guys is I think something about the pop, lock the doors, you know what I'm saying? And so he was, able to he was able to see it coming before it happened. But you dealing with and people shouldn't be surprised because America been a racist nation since day one. And it ain't like it got no better. Okay, let's be real. People see under the illusion that it got better. It has never gotten better. You understand? It's just now it's happening so that back in the day they just wash it up under the rug because they always been okay with it. But now it's a new day where you can't be so you can't be so obvious, and so it's happening so much. It's happening so much, but it's never just been where it wasn't happening. And that's the illusion that people think that America ain't never got no better. This nation been as sick as it always have been. And that's the illusion to believe that somehow this nation, it ain't never gotten no better. And it ain't gonna get no better. Because the seeds of hate is too deep. It's too deep. You know what I'm saying? It's too deep. It's too deep, and it never gonna change. So you just have to find, and that's where again it go back to our people practicing Black Power, meaning we look out for each other. That's the best and only way it's ever gonna be. Is nothing. There's no better program for the Black community than Black Power, and I stand on that. I stand on that with every breath in my body that there's not a better plan than Black Power for Black people, period. So y'all better wake up out there, keep your eyes open. Man, we got some fire out there. I want y'all to tap in. Uh, of course, Patreon. Let me get in here. Let me drop that in. Woo, yes, let me get that in there. Uh, that's right. The Dragon Kings of Kemet and the Rise of African Consciousness on Patreon. We about to tap back in on Black divinity, the esoteric understanding of our divinity. You need to be in the house, family. Don't you dare miss it. We about to tap in real deep and the ancient Kemetic science of solar melanin divinity. We got two on deck, ready to roll. If you miss this tomorrow, you got to be you're in a state of delusion, not illusion and delusion. You see what I'm saying? And so I want you in the house, family. Click the link at the top of the chat, and I'll be right back. Black Power. Uh-oh, Ray, I didn't tap in. I see y'all out there. Black Power to all my family. I'll be right back.